3, 2, 1, start. Damn it. I have learned over the past year and a half that I would gladly be playing video games over being a functioning member of society, which is probably why I stopped selling hot dogs. Most of the games that I've been playing have been a mix of new and old, and there's a lot of stuff from my backlog that I've played, stuff from the Epic Games Store, and a lot of Ring Fit Adventure. Now, after playing all of those games, I just want an excuse to talk about them because my friends don't want to hear any of it. So here's my excuse to talk about. So I'm probably going to talk about what is the biggest game of the quarantine, which is this game will probably go down as the game of the quarantine. That's something that people will go nostalgic for like 20 years from now, and I could totally see why. It was just such a nice and calming game, especially during a time when we didn't know what was going to happen, and we weren't sure if our 2-week break was going to last a whole year, which now it's lasted a lot longer. Like, I didn't get into the game until April because a few months back I played Stardew Valley, and I wasn't a big fan of it. I'm sure it's a great game and all that, but for some reason it didn't click with me, so I was a bit afraid to get into it, and then suddenly everyone got into it. And then once I got into it, I couldn't stop playing it. It was so addicting. There's so much you could do. You could create so much stuff. You can make your island a little cute. You can make everything. You can make everything from a man cave, an art room, a normal couch, a zen garden, and a vegan's worst nightmare. And I kept logging on to this game for like 2 months every day, and then I miss a day, and then I haven't logged on since. I feel like a lot of late millennials or Gen Z kids have grown up on one of these 3 games, and for me, my favorite is Minecraft is Minecraft, that's enough said, but when another update came out, it was kind of at a perfect timing. Right as the quarantine hit, me and my friends came back to Minecraft to see all of the stuff that I missed, and I haven't played Minecraft since like the 1.9 combat update, so for me it was nice to die to pillagers a bunch of times and watch my friends die to pillagers a bunch of times and really just start a raid on accident because we didn't know that pillagers can attack us a bunch of times. After we do that initial catch-up phase right at the beginning of quarantine, when the Nether update came out, we started another realm, and we decided to pick it up again to see all of the new Nether stuff, the new update, and I even made a cute little video about it. Honestly, Minecraft for me is a very social game. It's something that I kind of really only can play now with just friends, and like I try to do it by myself, but like I'll start a world and then I get bored, but I always like using it as like a way to talk to other people and like meet some new people is pretty fun, and just like grinding out the game, and then just like you'll play it for like a full week and then it's done just like that.
Where's the portal?
Thanks.
No, it was this way for sure.
Okay, yeah, it's here. Wait, someone open it.
No,
Why did you close it?
it's not this way, bro.
Who's still alive?
Let me out. No, like...
Now with the first part of the cave update, I'm back at it again, but with a new set of people and some friends that I made from my college, and I'm pretty excited for what they have in store with the second part of the cave update coming later this year.
Alright, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, go. This might take a while.
This guy got hands.
No!
Let's go. Alright, actually no, I'm gonna take the healthy armor.
You know what?
So originally I had this section as free-to-play first-person shooters, but upon reading it I realized that the game is not free-to-play and the game is not a first-person shooter. So I don't know what's wrong with me, and I don't know what to name this section anymore. This leaves to be the only game that fits this category. I'm going to talk about the other 2 first. Basically, these 3 games are just meshed together in my head. Legends of Runeterra was nice because the cards were super easy to get, so much more friendlier than Hearthstone, and like building the ideal deck is just like super easy. However, I have stopped playing for a while, and then I tried coming back, but there's so many like new cards and mechanics that they added that We'll see if I get back into it, but it was still pretty fun while it lasted. Overwatch is something that I could always play with my friends. However, coming back and seeing roll queue was a bit infuriating or annoying, and so we just played a lot of classic quick play in the arcade, giving us that sweet choice of freedom. Even though we always just pick 2-2-2 every time. But hey, it's called the illusion of choice. Right now, the game is going through a pretty bad content drought right now, and I know they're saving it all for Overwatch 2, but it doesn't really help the fact that they ended off the last character with just a DPS. Valorant is Riot's tactical FPS, which is basically CSGO with superpowers. I got into the Twitch drop closed beta thingy. Is that closed beta or an open beta? I don't really know. It was all right, and then I was like, I don't know if this is for me. And then I came back for the full launch and played with a group of friends, and we basically grinded that game for months until we kind of had a massive loss streak, which I don't want to really talk about, then we were done afterwards. But some of the voice chat convos that we had with some kids were pretty fun.
Alright, we can do it, guys.
Easy, dude. That was just step 1.
And I just ate some
emergency player is a one-man army, okay?
Man, I just ate some fucking salami on Hawaiian rolls. Some shit's fire.
That sounds so good, bro.
In October of 2020, things were looking pretty sour. The pandemic has been raging on for 10 years at that point, and the Smash community was at their lowest. However, things all changed when my boy Steve was added to Smash and united the Smash community. Everyone brought a new age to the Smash era, and that is all what I would say if I was a damn liar. Steve's inclusion was so funny, it crashed Twitter. And I don't know if this really counts as a game because I'm just talking about a DLC pack to a game, but I'm gonna include it regardless because Steve was amazing. He's so fun. And what the best part is that I even predicted Steve the day before it happened, which made me even cooler. And the best part about that prediction is that I predicted that he would come because of Minecon 2020. How right I was. I am amazing. The same thing also happened with Byleth, but I'm not really proud of that. Steve's moveset is just perfect. You could build blocks, you can mine, it's just like the game. And then you could also spam minecart, which is what I tend to do, and I love it. Around late October, I managed to get a PS4 for about $50, and it was an absolute steal because the new generation of consoles were coming out at that time. So then like all of the PS4 games went down to like $10 during Black Friday. So one of the games that I picked up was Spiderman (2018) was a fun game. The story was amazing. I can't believe they brought Kermit to fight Thanos like that in the final scene. It was just heart-wrenching and moving. And then speaking of moving around New York was a lot of fun. Just swinging around. This is one of the few games I 100%. I will say though, as great as this game is, there are some pretty weird bugs in here. Bruh, no way they just stuck here. Supergiant Games is an indie studio that makes amazing games that have a very distinct art style and flair to them. They really focus on story and have like this sort of hand-painted look to everything, and they always keep like this consistent isometric style, which gives their studio a really unique feel to every game that they release. Like once you play a Supergiant game, you'll be able to recognize their other games pretty easily. One of these games was like the electrical part. So I got this game for like $3 on the eShop, and I started it, but I just didn't like have time to like actually like continue playing it. But it was like pretty cool from what I started. And so this time around, when the quarantine hit, I restarted the game and then played it all the way through. It was good. Well, no shit, it's in this video. The gameplay is this weird mix of turn-based strategy with a bullet hell. So basically you could freeze time, plan out your attacks like Fire Emblem, but then like once you play through your attacks, then you have to dodge all the enemy's attacks and everything like a bullet hell shooter. And then you get a crazy amount of like customization like while you're doing this. Like you could modify like your attacks to do different things, and then you could combine two abilities to make a new ability, and then give some abilities certain passive, and then passive abilities, and then basically what I did was I just made my character attack during the bullet hell section. But the music, it was so good. There was like this one song that went like, I'll become one. Oh. The other super giant game that I played was Hades is a roguelike about sexy Greek Olympians. The game Hades is about Hades' son, Zagreus, who is in his current I hate you dad phase, and decides to run away, and keeps trying to run away, which is where we get our roguelike element. The weird part about this game is that they managed to combine a story with a roguelike, and it's about family. And the music is really good, although I prefer Transistors, but I think that's just a personal bias for me because I'm not like super into rock, but it's still pretty good. The combat is great. You have like 6 different weapons, and one of them is a shield, and it really makes you feel like Captain America. And then you just go bam, bam, bam! I never thought I would have 2 EA games on this list, but here I am with I first played Apex, but I'm gonna first talk about Titanfall. Titanfall 2 is so fast that I feel like a child playing it. I feel so like insignificant compared to the other players, but it doesn't make it a bad game for me. I am a dog at this game, but it is so much fun even if I am losing, which I can't really say about the other multiplayer shooter games that I've played. It's pretty exciting, and it has a really solid single player campaign, and especially like the ending, you're just blasting through each ship to kill some girl's dad. It is truly marvelous. And my only gripe with the game is that as of the time of writing and recording this, the servers are shut down by just like one guy, and hopefully Respawn does do something about it, and but I'm not too sure if that's gonna ever happen. Apex Legends is probably the game that will get me on every Titanfall 2 fan's hit list. Apex Legends is probably the best battle royale game that I have played ever. And they've even expanded from a battle royale formula by adding the arenas mode, which is so fun, and it gives like a nice short like burst of games. But then it kind of gives me that Valorant feel with the econ and everything, but it doesn't really matter because it's fun. I love the cast of characters, I love the cinematics, and I love the gameplay and the gunplay, and it's just like it's so scrammy and fun to deal with hot drops. And I'm not really good at it, but I play a lot of Mirage, and I've been trying to learn some Loba recently, and queuing up with the boys always makes this game a great time. Do you ever just want to play a game that makes you say, monkey? Well, Bloons Tower Defense fits that itch very, very nicely. This game is about placing monkeys down on a map while you're on Zoom University learning about... That previous section was just a joke. I would never play video games during class, and I am a very serious student who cares about my academics. You place monkey down to stop balloon. How more simple can you get? Have you ever just played a game that made you feel, damn? For me, that game is... My first playthrough of Nier Automata was this game is just like, oh, cute anime robot with Maid outfit doing ninja moves, and it ends like with a pretty hopeful ending and all that. There's like a bit sprinkles of like sad moments and everything, but overall everything's just like okay. So yeah, that's the first ending, and then the game hits you with like, yo, we got multiple endings, you know that, right? And then I'm like, fine, let's do this, and then it hits. Everything in this game just gets sadder and every moment that goes on. The music and atmosphere is really good, and it carries how each like character and faction feels about everything that's going on around them and the tone that happens. And it definitely like builds each plot point, and like at first it all feels like very disconnected. Like it doesn't feel like any of it merges together until the end, but then like once you do like get to those final moments in that climax and the climbing up, like one of the most intense sequences I've ever done in a game, it feels really good. And then like you see how it all comes together, and then it's just like just sit there watching that final scene and you're just like, wow. I don't know what happened. I thought the game was made by a crazy person, and I looked up who the director was, and I was right.
Hi.
Nier Automata T-shirt, 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 Square Enix.
Alright, so for this last game on this list, you'll
Never see it come back. You say that my mind is the best for right.
This game was just so damn good. This was me before Persona, and this was me after. Look how happy I am. I never really knew about this game until Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, but I've always heard about like some of my friends talk about it. From my understanding, before I played it, I thought it was just a quirky Pokemon game with like some dating sim elements to it. And then this asshole shows up, and then I just went like, yikes, dog. I'm not gonna be saying anything about that hasn't been already been said about this game, because everything is so good. The presentation, the music, the story. I love how the story is presented as this long flashback scene where the person you play as is just being interrogated by someone, and every time they flash forward back to the present time, it really reminds you, it's like, oh shoot, yeah, wait, he got arrested, how do we get to this moment? And then when the story finally gets to that moment, the plot twist was just like, and then after the main story, you get to this epilogue chapter from the Royal Edition. So that epilogue chapter, it was just like, I was just surprised it wasn't in the base game at all. And it was mainly because of the antagonist and the bonus character of Kasumi. The antagonist views is something that where you're just like, well, is he wrong? It's kind of a blue pill, red pill situation with him. But he isn't really the bad guy. He's trying to do what he thinks is right, and everything all comes together in this one boss fight, except for his outfit. I think his outfit was dumb as hell. After watching this video, I hope you realize that this video was just an excuse for me to talk about Persona 5 and Nier Automata. And who knows, with the way things are going right now, there might be a part 2 to this video.